Hello. So we're going to talk about teleporters. I played a game. Person was a little bit confused about teleporters, so I figured I would research the teleporters, and there ain't a great deal of research out there or things to look at. So we're just going to put this video together for my understanding of teleportation. Right. So this is for Dungeon Bowl. So let's do a little bit of a summary, and then we'll do some examples. Okay. So if a player is teleported, and I'm reading this verbatim, as a result of a move action, then it will cost them a square of movement allowance to gather their wits and carry on with their activation. So this is our lineman. They have 6 movement. I start here, 1, 2, and then I teleport. Obviously, you need to roll for the teleporters. And then 3 to gather my wits, 4, 5, 6. Okay. If I teleport directly from the dugout, okay, I teleport onto the tile, the portal, of which the number that I roll a d6 when I teleport. And then my move activation ends, or my activation just ends. They just sit there for that turn. Now, if I teleport in from a dugout and someone is standing on that portal, they will be moved as a result of a chain reaction. So if this little guy teleports in and he rolls a 3, then this player will then transport to another portal. So if we rolled the 4 here, they would land onto this portal. Now, this is where the questions will come in for people. Do they take an injury roll? The answer is no. So the rule itself is, should a player use a portal more than once during a team turn, so a model uses the portals more than once during a team turn, then they will take an internal injury. They will roll for an injury roll. So it ignores armor and they will take the injury roll. So let's do that as an example, just from the very beginning. I roll for this player to enter into a portal. I roll a 3 during the Elven turn, College of Shadow, and they land on that portal. Their turn now ends. So this player, or this model's teleportation count would reset back to 0. They've now no longer teleported in this next turn. So this, the Colleges of Fire team, their turn now starts, and they teleport in and they happen to land on the same portal. This player, per the chain reaction, will then teleport for their first time somewhere else. This player has teleported for their first time during this turn. So neither will take an injury roll. Now, say this turn, the College of Fire's turn, continues, and these little ferocious nobblers, which they are ferocious, and especially this guy right here, he is Virag Ankle Biter, laser block, bang, knocks this guy past the portal, and he decides he's going to enter the portal. This is during the same turn that these guys have just teleported. If he lands on this portal, so he rolls a 3 in this case, and this Noblar is teleported, that is his second teleportation. So he will take an injury roll. Rolls a 2 because they're super tough, and he's knocked out. He stays in the portal, he doesn't teleport again. The way that these guys get cleared out if they're constantly being bounced around is, say they roll this guy moves in here, he gets magically moved to this portal, and he gets moved somewhere else to a different freely open portal. If he's injured after he lands to the point where he's taken out of the game, the next guy coming in can occupy that space. Right? So him being injured will happen first before the next guy appears on the teleporter. Right? So that's how you prevent that infinite loop of silliness. Is there is an out, and the out is the wizards have seen enough of this body being bounced around unconscious. They teleport him out and say he's badly hurt. Okay, so magical mishaps is when I move from a portal. Okay, so this is a convoluted way to do it, but I've moved in from the dugout, I've rolled a 3. There's a magical mishap. We've rolled it, not yet, chain reaction. We roll a chain reaction to go to number 4 here. So this Nobbler ends up on 4. The no injury roll. We then find out, this is pretty bad, this guy's going to magically mishap because he's a beast. No autofocus there, unlucky. He then rolls the same number, number 4. So as he's taken out here, he rolled the same number. So now that's a magical mishap, and he's teleported somewhere else into the College of Magic, one of the colleges of magic, and he's out of the game. Okay, that's where the magical mishap happens. So let's do a little convoluted example here. Let's put some people here. Let's just see what happens. And whatever. So we're going to play out an example here. And if I've missed something, feel free to tell me, right, that I've missed something with the injury roll. I don't have any dice. Oh, I do have dice. I have so many dice. They're all here. Within arm's reach. So close. Okay. Let's give me a 4 here, just so I can do them nice and quick. 3. And then we'll have an injury roll somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so it is the College of Shadows' turn. They're going to choose this Gutter Runner. This is actually a Blitzer, isn't it? And they roll a dice. They rolled a 3. So he gets teleported into the 3 portal. And that's it. Okay, his movement ends. I continue on with my game, so I move in 6. Well, he can't really do anything. He just sits there. Okay, that's the end of their turn. The Nobblers and the College of Fire's turn has now started. So what they do is this Nobbler is going to use a teleporter. He's going to run through here. 1 movement to here. He's going to roll a dice. He rolls a 3. He lands on this portal. There is a chain reaction. We roll a dice. We get a 4. Turns out that this Blitzer has now landed on the portal 4. He used 1 movement to get to here. Number 2 movement to regain his composure. He then dodges out, rolls a 4, he's fine, and stands there. We now choose a player that we want to bring in from the dugout. So they're going to choose this Ogre. We roll a dice from the dugout. We roll the 4. That means that the Ogre is going to land here on this portal. This is the same turn. So he arrives on the portal. It's the same turn that this guy has already done a teleportation. We roll a dice. It's 3. He lands on this portal. But because this is his second teleportation, he takes the injury roll. Okay? So it's a 7. So he is stunned, right? So he's put down face first. Unless I've done that wrong. Face down, right? And he's now sitting there on that teleporter, okay? So that was his second teleport, and he just teleported in from the dugout, so he cannot move anymore, okay? We go to the College of Shadows turn here, and whatever happens here, does a blitz, just pushes this guy back because he's too strong. He cannot be stopped. And the Witch Elf decides that she needs to teleport in. Okay. So she rolls a dice. And she will roll the 3. So she lands on portal 3. Whoop, whoop. A chain reaction occurs. So this Skaven now moves. He is going to roll I'll just explain this. If I roll a 3, that would be the magical mishap. and he would be taken out of the game, teleported somewhere in the College of Magic. He teleports to 4, so we roll a 4. He lands on number 4. He does not take an injury roll because it is now, the previous turn has ended and his teleport count reset to 0. Okay, his bits and pieces resettled, and so it reset back to 0. Same with this player. When he now lands, he's not going to take a second teleport injury roll because it's his first. He rolls a 3. Dun, dun, dun. That was his first roll. Now she, in this turn, came in from the dugout, so that's 1 teleport. This next chain reaction is her second teleport, so she would take an injury roll. So she rolls a 4. She arrives on 4. He now is taking his second teleport, so he will take an injury roll. So her injury roll first, hang on. Let's go with that, because that's actually perfect. 9. Oop. So she's out of the game. Now, she landed, she got injured, but he still teleports out. So he happens to roll a 3. Whoop. He rolls an injury roll. In this case, let's just give him a 7 again. So he stays face down. So he's once again stunned. So he can't turn over during this turn. He stays face down during this turn. And this ogre now teleports. If he rolls a 3 in this case, he would be teleported out of the College of Magic. Let's say he rolled a 4. This is his second teleport. So he will now take an injury roll. So he takes the injury roll, 3. Let's say it was a good old 6 and 6. And he didn't die, he was a casualty. He's taken out. And he's put into the casualty bin. Okay? And that's kind of how that little bit of chaos is just fantastic, and it can happen that way. I feel like I've kind of gone through all the different little examples that can happen, other than say this is, he landed here, or we had another chick and she moved in, right? And then she would teleport. She rolls a 3, he would teleport. If that was more than his second teleport, there would be another injury roll. Okay. So when it says, in chain reactions, it says, remember that if a player is teleported more than once in an activation, they will suffer an injury roll. That should say if a player is teleported more than once in a turn. Okay, so activation is technically this one movement. So it would just be, say, if I activate and I move and there's lots of magical movement, then they would take that injury during that activation. But in the teleporting section, it says any player that is teleported more than once during any team turn will immediately suffer an injury roll. So they're two conflicting things. So the turn is the one that I use. So if it happens in that same turn. If you were to use chain reactions there in that last line, it says once in an activation instead. Once this first little active movement, this little dance happened where one guy moved, he activates and he moves into the game and all those portals kind of finish moving. Once all that's said and done, they would reset back to 0. Okay? If it was per turn, then it doesn't reset until these guys start playing, or they start activating their models. Okay? So there is actually a little conflict there in the book. It would prevent having to remember stuff if it retains as activation instead of turn, but I've been playing it as turn. So if you have any questions about that, or I've explained something a little bit wrong, then feel free to tell me. Otherwise, hopefully this helps out in avoiding some confusion in your games. And that's it. I will point out, by the way, well, if you get into this portal part, you should know, but the game starts with 6 players on the field, and then you starting from the second turn. You can come in from the dugout. There's an unlimited amount of people. You technically can have as many people as you want in this dugout, so it's infinite, right? Depends on what sort of money you're using for your games. But make the portals fun, right? I'm gonna actually probably start playing some games where the board is not linked together and there's breaks and there's different rooms, and so you actually have to use the portal. You might actually see a video of me playing that solo, just to see how that works. But yeah, questions, concerns, feel free to put them in the comments, yeah? Peace out.